about some of the things that, well, we don't get to talk to you about all the time. The first thing that we're gonna talk to you is called our This Day Only. And it's a little bit of a serious subject because it's about emergency situations. It's about being able to have something like an emergency bracelet speak when you can't speak. So here is an unbelievable way that you can actually wear a fashionable bracelet that is basically gonna be able for you to customize all of your personal information. So where you live, who to call when something goes wrong, maybe allergies, your blood type. If you are stuck in an emergency situation and you can't express what you need or what your body needs, and you need to let the officials know, this is something that I want you to just take a moment and spend some time with me this morning, because we have something that you wanna get for yourself, something that you might wanna gift a family member if you have someone that lives alone. It's called the SOS America Emergency Medical ID Bracelet. It is a unisex bracelet. We have your choice of either the gold tone or the silver tone, and we have 2 sizes. So we do have the 7.5 inch and we have the 8.5 inch. Now I have Jeff Haber, who is the owner and president of SOS America, and I'm very excited to have you this morning because as we chatted earlier, this is a subject matter that you don't want to wait until you've experienced something where you say, I wish I had had that, because it could be a peace of mind that could really save some lives.
That's true. And I'd like to ask you, if you were in an emergency situation or a family member and could not speak for yourself, okay, how would people know who you are, what medications you take, and what kind of medical condition you have?
Well, sadly, we talked about this early, and my answer was that I don't have any way to be able to do that. I was saying that how would somebody know who to call? How would somebody know what the medications or what I'm allergic to? Because if you are in that emergency situation, which, believe it or not, many more people than you actually think actually end up in that situation. There's actually statistics on the when people arrive in the emergency room. So over 130 million ER visits happen. Over 37 million ER visits were injury related. So that could be something very simple or very complex. 12.2 million ER visits resulted in a hospital admission. What if you can't speak? What if you can't tell them what you need and how they can actually assist you? 1.5 million ER visits resulted in admission to critical care. That's like the worst of the worst. And then over 40% of the people in the US, that's every 2 out of 5, has had an ER visit. So, and I shared with you earlier, and I'll quickly share, and then we can talk about what makes this bracelet so special, is I actually had a situation where my husband and I were driving, and he essentially blacked out, became unconscious. We were newly married. I didn't know his blood type. I didn't know what medications he may or may not be allergic to, and I panicked. Yes, I called 911, but when they came, he couldn't speak, and I didn't have the words for him. So I really, honestly, I can't, I feel like I almost want to get a little choked up, because it's those types of situations that you could actually save your own life or save a family member's life. So by wearing something that is a fashionable bracelet in either a silver tone or gold tone option, in this little emblem, you have the ability to speak when you can't speak. And Jeff's going to show us how that is so uniquely designed that you're able to do that.
Sure. Okay, the SOS bracelet, okay, is made so that emergency people know who you are, okay, and that you're wearing a medical bracelet, because it has a medical symbol on the front. It's called a caduceus, and then on the other side, with our bracelet, we have another medical symbol, and the word open and 2 arrows. And all the first responder has to do is to unscrew this waterproof case and take off the cap, and there's a retaining clip right here that holds in the paper so it won't pop out and get lost. And then they just pull out what's like a little medical book.
Wow.
Okay, and they have a 12-inch strip that has 3 lines on each side,
oh my gosh,
which gives you approximately 70 linear inches of information to write about yourself. And again, it's 2-sided.
Wow.
So this bracelet would speak for you if you can't speak for yourself, or if you're unconscious or if you're nervous, and who isn't nervous when they're in an ambulance or in a medical situation of some kind? So this product will give you immediate access to vital life-saving information.
It not only looks good, but it is something that could potentially save your life or just give maybe one of your loved ones a peace of mind. I want you to hear it from someone other than Jeff and I, because the personal experiences that I share and that Jeff is going to share is so important. But we want you to take a listen to this quick testimonial.
My mother has one. She lives alone, and we want her to be able to provide us information if there's an emergency and none of us are around.
That's the thing, if no one's around, if you live alone, if you are just in a situation and you get in that state of shock, sometimes you can't even think clear. You don't even know what your own information is. I sometimes, will think about that and think, I couldn't even tell you what I had for breakfast, much less if I'm in a state of shock. Your choice of either the gold tone or the silver tone in 2 sizes, 7.5 inches or 8.5 inches. Jeff, who would you recommend should be wearing this?
Well, definitely anyone that has any type of a medical condition. Whether a person has diabetes or a heart problem, or if they take a lot of medication, okay, that goes without saying. Anybody who could benefit by having somebody know what kind of conditions they have. The SOS bracelet actually will speak for them if they can't speak for themselves. But it's not limited to that. Everyone could use a medical ID bracelet of some kind. I'll give you an example. I wear one, and the reason that I wear one is that I live alone. I'm over 60 years old, and I always felt that if I was in an emergency situation, and if they called my home, all they would get would be my answering machine. So I wear one. And you have a story, and I have a story.
We all have stories, but the thing is if you don't have a story and that day comes and you don't have something like this, there's nothing else like this. This is a bracelet that you'll wear. You'll get up every day. It'll become part of your routine. But the information that is contained in this little capsule, in this little beautiful emblem, that the emergency responders know that means this has medical information on it. On both sides, that you can see that it basically is speaking, but it's not something that's blaring and obvious. At first glance, I said, oh, it looks like a beautiful, like a European designed bracelet. But what is contained inside is that peace of mind. It's that pivotal information, everything from just your name to where you live, to who to call, to what you're allergic to maybe what illnesses you might be dealing with. When you get in that situation and you're rushed to an emergency room where you've just fallen, when that person comes to help you, this is how they're going to know how to serve you and your body. And those moments are so invaluable that you can't take the chance that you've either given the information incorrectly or you don't have the information at all. So in this beautiful little emblem is a piece of paper, essentially.
Yes.
Now, these bracelets are waterproof, so that is awesome. You could wear this to shower. You can wear this to swim. They're also adjustable in lengths, but we do have it in 2 choices of lengths, 7.5 or 8.5. But that waterproof capsule is going to store all of what we're calling our life-saving information, a way that a bracelet can speak for you. It's amazing.
That's correct. Absolutely correct. And to just show everybody again how easy it is to utilize the bracelet, okay? Again, there's a medical symbol on the front, which identifies it as a medical ID product. The EMTs, emergency people, will just simply turn it over to the other side. They'll see another medical symbol, 2 arrows, and the word open. They will unscrew the case, the waterproof case. They will pull out the retaining clip, and they will find a little medical book of information about you, about information that you felt was important or your medical professional felt is important. And all that information will remain protected in a waterproof case, okay, to be available in an emergency situation. It's confidential, all right, and it's kept confidential until there's an emergency. And then, of course, you'd want to tell everybody.
Yeah, and nobody will know that that's what you're wearing on your wrist except for the medical professionals. They know the symbol, they know what to look for, and they also know that when you're in distress and you can't speak for yourself, they need access to some of the most important information, what medications you're taking, who to call. Jeff, you have a story that I'd love for you to share about what happened to you. Well,
yes, actually, I was supposed to be on about 3 months ago, and I was involved in an automobile accident. I was driving in a residential area, and I felt kind of dizzy. I blacked out, and I went off the road, and I hit a tree and flipped my SUV. And they were working on me, not working on me, but working on getting me out of my vehicle, and they were able to get a little, the sunroof open. And they were asking me questions about medical conditions and who I was. And actually, all I did is I raised my hand. They saw the bracelet. They took the bracelet off. And my 2 daughters were waiting for me at the hospital when I got there.
Wow.
So, you know,
it works.
It works.
It works.
It works.
And that's the thing, is you don't want to wait until it's too late. That's the big thing. This is going to speak for you when you can't speak for yourself. If you have a loved one, if you know somebody that lives alone, a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, anyone that needs help, where do you call? Where do you go? This little bracelet, this beautiful, fashionable, and functional, and potentially life-saving bracelet can hold the key to those moments that you can't speak for yourself. So just your name, where you live, who to contact in that emergency situation, what your blood type is, maybe what your religion is, maybe, you know, whether, you know, you want to be resuscitated. I mean, all the things that there's so much, and this is essentially, it is your diary. It is your medical information that is protected. It is private, but you wear it on your body. So if something were to happen and no one is around, when you get help, they know exactly how to treat you. We do have it in the gold tone or the silver tone. I know that the gold tone is going to be the first to go. The gold tone for you is going to be $19.98 on a flex pay. When you think about that, that's not even $1 a day. It's like 75 cents a day to potentially save your life, your father's life, your sister's life. That peace of mind to know that they are carrying the most important information on their body when they may need it. And you don't want to wait until it's happened and it's too late. I've had an experience, Jeff's had an experience. You're in the business basically of helping to save lives. I mean, essentially in a bracelet, something that we wear every day, you can stack it with your watches, you can stack it with your other bracelets. It has a purpose bigger than just fashion. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, I would. Okay.
And it's waterproof.
It speaks for you when you can't speak for yourself. You're never alone. It'll make you feel safer, smarter, and more confident. It gives people peace of mind knowing that they have this, especially a person that might live alone, that might be hesitant to travel by themselves. They're able to leave their home knowing that in an emergency, this will speak for them.
That's exactly it. If you travel alone, if you live alone, it's any time that you can't speak for yourself. What you're seeing there, you're getting 2 of these waterproof strips that are inside, these 2 papers. You write down everything that you want somebody to know. It could be vaccinations, if you're traveling out of the country. It could be if you have diabetes, if you have allergies, medications. It all sits right in here. This is your peace of mind. This is your lifeline to potentially that one time that you may need someone to be able to know exactly what you need in an emergency situation. Silver tone or gold tone, 2 sizes. They are adjustable and waterproof. Jeff will be back with this at 2 p.m. Over 200 of you have taken advantage of this, and FlexPay is a way that you can get it home and try it and see it for yourself. Thank you so much, Jeff. It was a pleasure, and thank you so much for helping so many lives that you potentially will never even be able to meet. So what should be